Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Not News. It's Notes on the News, where I read to you my headlines from my news feed, and I give you my thoughts, or I might not give you my thoughts about the headlines. And my thoughts are going to be based on my opinion, my experience, being an expert on the subject, or maybe just haven't read the headline. But that's what it is. That's what I got. It's not the news. It's not news. I'm Angela, and the channel is Be Fabulous You. Let us proceed. I was all set up, and then I don't know what I touched. Y'all know how these touchscreen phones are. People are sharing nice things about celebrities in the wake of mass sexual assault allegations, and some of them are really delightful. I like the idea of that, but I think in general it's kind of like, for the most part, all we hear is nice things about celebrities: how great they are, how wonderful they are, how beautiful they are, how handsome they are, how talented they are, so I don't know. I don't know if they're like, suffering from a lack of positive exposure, but, I'm all here for, saying good things about people and trying to look for the good, look for the God, focus on the good, focus on the God. Roger Goodell's contract demands reportedly include $50 million per year and a private jet. So this is the person who's the commissioner of the NFL, the National Football League. And I guess he's like currently the commissioner. Some people thought it was just like a formality that he would continue to be the commissioner. The person who is the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry somebody, is not a fan of this person continuing as commissioner. So anyway, yeah, that's I hope to shout glory when this world is on fire, when the NFL is on fire. Colin Kaepernick is crowned GQ's Citizen of the Year. Do they have an actual crown? I love hearing good things about Colin Kaepernick. Yay, Cap! High school coach resigns over blatantly racist tweets aimed at black NASCAR driver. Why, I ask, why? Okay. I don't know why, Bella. Do you know why? More than 300 dead in earthquake along Iran and Iraq's border as landslides hinder rescue efforts. More than 300 people dead. It was an earthquake overnight in that region of the world. So, rest in peace to the souls who made their transition, and much peace to the families and friends and communities that, are affected by this, who still remain on this plane. And that's a lot of people. Anti-sex trafficking law could unintentionally cripple Wikipedia. Now, I know they say Wikipedia, I don't know why Miss Thang, she just in the, they say Wikipedia is not like a valid source. Like if you're writing a paper, you can't really use Wikipedia as a source. But that's my favorite go-to reference. It's like I know the format, I feel comfortable with it. I like Wikipedia. And I know it's not perfect, and it may not be true, but I believe it. One of my colleagues showed me a couple of years ago how he could just change stuff. He went to the Wikipedia page of his university, and when they had like notable graduates, he added himself, and he said that he's added himself 2 or 3 times, and they've taken him down 2 or 3 times, but it's not like an immediate takedown. Know your story. Thomas Bradley was first African-American elected mayor of a major city. He was elected mayor of Los Angeles? How y'all gonna see me when her ear is in the middle of my face? She like, you don't need to see me, just listen to me. Google revamps new mentorship program and launchpad space for African startups. South African church group attacks Johannesburg police. So I'm not exactly sure what happened. I think that they found out that the police were towing somebody's car, and they came out and they were like, no. And I think it was a black church, and they were like, we are not a fan of this. This is not okay. And I was kind of curious about it because, you know, having your car towed away, it's like, it can be a major expense. Like, you know, $300 for the initial thing, or $200 for the initial thing, and then $50 a day, and then this and that. And like, if you're living on the edge and somebody tows your car away, that could be a big deal. So I was kind of curious, you know, about what the situation was, what's been the history with the police. And I think they were like, you out here towing our cars, and we in church, go out and deal with some real issues. Don't be here harassing us over no bull. So what a $500,000 home looks like in 15 major cities across America. There used to be a TV show on HGTV like that, like $1 Million Home, and they'd show you, like, it might have been called $1 Million Homes, but they'd show you like $1 Million home in Hawaii, and $1 Million home in Detroit, and $1 Million home in Los Angeles, and $1 Million home in New York, and $1 Million home in Milwaukee, or whatever. They, you know, and it was really interesting because, you know, it's a wide variety, you know, depending on where you live regionally, what your money does. The man and fellow retirees behind a science lab for students in rural India. Y'all, I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. Because we cold. Bella's shivering. I'm cold. North Korea soldier shot while defecting at DMZ to the south, the demilitarized zone to the south. So he didn't get killed, he got shot. And I think that since '98 there have been 3 people who have defected in that way. And they say that the demilitarized zone is like heavily, you know, monitored. Like, it's not really like a secret way to go. Like, you gonna be seen. That's the impression that I got. So yeah. And he was shot by North Korea. So he was leaving North Korea. He was shot by North Korea, but he wasn't killed. The U.S. Navy just showed North Korea its worst nightmare with 3 aircraft carriers and bombers in the Pacific. After half a season, Star Trek Discovery is worth paying for. I haven't seen it, but you know who I want to watch? Baby Girl does reviews of it, Star Trek Discovery, on her channel, Twisted Life with Poetry. I think it's Twisted Life, LYF with Poetry. She does reviews, and it's been so crazy I haven't had a chance, because I was like, I think I want to see it because the lead character is a black woman. She's a black woman that I saw from like Walking Dead, or I can't remember what show I recognize her from, but you know, she's recognizable, and you know, yeah, I thought I might want to see it, but I just haven't had a chance, so I was going to watch her reviews at the very least. Bill Gates is investing $100 million to fight Alzheimer's, a deadly condition that becomes more common every year. So why does it become more common every year? Do you wonder about that? I wonder about stuff like that. See, I think a lot of stuff like might be like dehydration. It might be like years ago when I first became a vegetarian, a lot of the people were like, don't use aluminum. You know, that's when I stopped using. I started using basically cast iron, glass, and stainless steel, because the people were like, aluminum, that Teflon, all of that stuff is not good for you. Aluminum causes Alzheimer's. So I kind of stopped dealing with aluminum cans, aluminum foil. I mean, you know, here and there, but I don't buy it, and I really, you know, for the most part try to stay away from it. Speaking of which, yesterday at the show, one of the cast members brought in pizza, and I really try to stay away from pizza, especially stuff like Little Caesars. At our cast party the other day, they had Little Caesars pizza, and they always do pizza for opening night, which, or I don't know always, but it seems like most opening nights they have pizza for the cast, which I don't understand, because cheese makes me so mucusy. How we trying to get ready to do shows, and then we got that turnaround from Saturday night to Sunday matinee? People be tired. You trying to make us sick? It's wintertime, no pizza. That's not, but anyway, somebody brought in pizza. And so I was kind of like, oh, you know, I really didn't want to eat it because we had just had pizza the other day at the cast party. And I ate it at the cast party, but I was thinking, because our cast party is also dinner theater, so usually there's food left over from dinner theater. So I was like, oh, they had an Italian thing. So I was like, I'll get pasta and salad instead of pizza but they just had off the pizza. They didn't have the, anything left over from dinner theater. So anyway, I had already had pizza, so I'm like, I don't need pizza, but it's like, ooh, it's here, it's hot and ready. It was Little Caesars, and both of the ones that he got were pepperoni. So I was like, ooh, hallelujah. So that was yesterday. We had a show yesterday. Then I had a production meeting for another show that'll be coming up next year, and that was at 7. So I basically it was just like a long day, and the people were like, oh, well, we'll serve pizza and salad because we know some of y'all are coming basically right from a show to here. And I was kind of like, and I had escaped the pizza in the afternoon, so I'm kind of like, but then I'm just rambling, because then after the show they had the pasta from dinner theater. So I did eat pasta. It was just like pasta, white pasta with red sauce. I'm not really a big fan of white pasta, but at least white pasta and white bread, red sauce pizza, but no cheese. So that's like a step up. But anyway, and then I went to their house and they had 2 options for pizza. Now, I wasn't starving hungry when I got there because I had eaten the pasta. They had pepperoni or supreme. And I'm like, well, I'm a vegetarian, because I'm thinking it's probably not a veggie supreme. And they're like, oh. And I mean, it's like 8 people there at the meeting. I guess I was the only one who was a vegetarian. I was the only black one too. But I'm kind of like, that is so interesting in 2017 that people prepare food or whatever and it was like, it had never occurred to them that anyone didn't eat meat. I was kind of like, wow, that's like really... but anyway, when I'm thinking about stuff like Alzheimer's and, different illnesses that we have, like, why are things getting more common? What's really going on? Is it something to do with our environment? Because when you go to these restaurants, they serve a lot out of aluminum. Aluminum is like a mainstay, in these big, food prep type situations, and plastic too. And plastic is not really the best for you. And they throw plastic in the microwave. They throw plastic in the microwave all the time. But anyway, and then Bill Gates, I'm kind of suspicious of Bill Gates, because he's one of these people who has big investments in Africa in these genetically modified seeds and preventing farmers from having seeds that they can just keep. It's like some weird stuff that Bill Gates is into to me. The Paradise Papers, how the financial elite play a shell game to stay ahead of taxes and everyone else, I guess is what they're trying to say. Workplace loneliness could be derailing your potential, but there are ways to improve it. And they were saying in the article that a lot of people feel lonely at work. So I was kind of like, wow, that's interesting. I don't work a traditional job. So a groundbreaking discovery reveals that wounds heal 60% faster if they occurred during the day instead of at night. That's deep. Chevrolet just revealed the most powerful Corvette in history. I don't know nothing about cars. I don't know why I'd be interested. I just feel like I should share like car articles, but I'm not really a car person. Gaydar founder, never heard of Gaydar. It's like a social media, like a dating app. Founder Henry Batenhorst dies in South Africa. Albania's trapped families, and they're trapped by blood feuds. Like, there's a 7-year-old child, and he's not the only one, or whatever, 11-year-old boy who can't go to school because not his mama or his daddy or his grandmama or his granddaddy, maybe his granddaddy, but like generations back, somebody got into a fight and they like, I got a blood feud with you and your whole family. And so the children can't even leave the house for something that happened generations ago. That is crazy. But they say that these rules, really technically, if you follow the rules, you are not supposed to be killing no children and women. But they do. They just wild. And I think that Albania represents the part of the world that used to be part of, like, when we say Caucasian in the Caucasus Mountains, I think that Albania is in that region of the world. I've been meaning to research that. Oil pipeline explodes in Bahrain, and someone is saying that it was like an ISIS attack. I thought it was just like the hazards of working with oil pipelines, but anyway. And I don't know how many people made their transition. I feel like it was 4 or 5, but I'm not sure. Philly cops threatened to BITCH slap new DA backed by Black Lives Matters. So they gonna beep slap somebody The Philly cops are? Okay. Now, this is the one who, I think he's a white guy, but he had sued the police repeatedly for, like, you know, brutality, for being brutes. So I guess they just given examples of, you know, their brutality. 69-year-old grandmother not ready to retire from BMX scene. Is that biking? I don't know what but it's like biking or something like that. I like a 69-year-old woman who be doing her thing, I guess. So we need to normalize the black family again. Author hopes to reinforce traditional families with new children's book. And they were talking about, you know, again, how a lot of these books feature white children. And then the second largest category is like animals. And then you have, you know, black or brown children. So, like, you know, Bella is more popular. Hey, Bella, more popular than Gila. There's a fraternity of former White House press secretaries that includes Sean Spicer. My jaw is still kind of tight about, and they're like, basically, we know how hard the job is, so we ain't saying nothing to nobody about how they doing the job. And the current press secretary, she's a woman who has young children, so we applaud her, or something like that. And I was kind of like, oh, I guess. But I'm still kind of, my jaw is still kind of tight, because I feel like, now Sean Spicer was out here just lying, and then he gets this job at Harvard. It's like, you can just see, I can just see in how, in my imagination, it's like they really take care of their own. And, you know, they can, like, that's why I think a lot of these people be doing stuff on social media, because they don't care. If they get fired from this job, or if they resign from this job, somebody's going to hire them and be happy to hire them. Like, ooh, I love people who hate black people. Come work for me. I got a job for you. You know, I think they just feel like, they ain't got no worries. They ain't scared. Shoot. And I guess that's like Sean Spicer. They ain't scared. They gonna take care of their own. How much your plane ticket actually cost without taxes and fees. Nationalists march on Poland's Independence Day. J. Crew under fire for not doing black models' hair. Issues response. So I heard some people talking in the green room at the show yesterday about it. I didn't really know it was a story until last night or this morning. I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. And talking about how her hair didn't look cute, and they were saying that the white people's hair, their J. Crew is known for having tousled hair. I thought her hair looked just as tousled or as cute or uncute as the other women's hair to me. And then they were also talking further, or, you know, people were, I guess, complaining about, you know, natural hair and doing black hair. And, you know, I feel like there's actually a conflation of situations here. Because I feel like when I looked at the women who had messy hair in the J. Crew, the white women and the black women, to me, they looked on par. The black woman's hair didn't look messier than the white woman's hair to me. But then that's a secondary issue from, as a black woman, you want to shoot and you have to do your own hair. But I think they probably styled her hair like that. That was the stylist decision, I'm guessing. Or, you know, you have to do your own makeup, you have to do your own hair, because they don't know what they're doing, or they only want to deal with your hair if it's been straightened. And, you know, so I feel like that's a whole secondary, that's a different issue. But I don't think that was the issue here from what I could tell. It's the opposite of disrespectful. Steph Curry addresses NFL protests in Veterans Day essay. I like that Steph Curry is out here writing essays. I don't know, it seemed like it was an essay for like a basketball publication, but I like a scholar athlete, or a athlete who is trying to think and analyze and write. And yes, I like that. I like it. MGM Annapurna. Now I know who Annapurna is because they came to Detroit with this movie Detroit. So I know it's like women involved high up, and it's not very many women in production companies in Hollywood. So that's why I got this article. Joint venture near domestic deal on next James Bond movie. So even though I didn't like Detroit, and I felt like Detroit was some bull, I guess I'm still kind of pulling for Annapurna, or got Annapurna in my thing because it's women. But then you'd be kind of mad, like, dang, why can't y'all be more progressive women? But anyway, train crash kills 33 in Democratic Republic of Congo. Oh my gosh. So, you know, once again, rest in peace to the souls who, you know, made their transition during that train crash, and like just much peace and serenity to all of the families and friends and communities that are affected by the loss that happened as a result of this train crash in the Democratic Republic of Congo. A top Democratic lobbying firm caught up in Mueller's Russia probe is on the verge of shutting down. Geldorf returns Dublin honor in protest over Aung San Suu Kyi. So somebody got this award. He's a rock star, I think. And he like, I'm not going to accept the award because you know who else got it? The person who runs Myanmar. And you know what she's doing in Myanmar? She's closing her eyes while they do ethnic cleansing of these brown people. And so, no, I'm not going to accept the award that you've given her because that's some bull, what she's doing. And they say that she's not saying, oh, I'm in favor of it, but she's just like turning a blind eye to it. So people are calling her out about it. And I say, yes. Dash cam captures trucks near miss with child in Norway. Marine drill instructor sentenced to 10 years behind bars for abusing recruits, calling them ISIS and all the stuff you see in movies and TV shows when they be like all on people and crazy. That's what it seemed like it's based on, maybe real life. Inside a troll factory, as in, you know, the people who, you know, harass people online and all of that kind of stuff. Misquoting Maya Angelou. Hollywood holds Me Too march against sexual harassment. How the American dream turned into greed and inequality. Wasn't the American dream always greed and inequality? We did have a moment, I think, when we had like unions that were kind of strong and people got like minimum wage, you know, things. There were some progressive things that happened in the country, like the 40-hour work week and paid vacation and, you know, whatever these things that unions advocated for. I think that they did some good work, and that stuff has been like turned back. But if you go back to like the American dream, it was based on, wasn't it based on the exploitation of black folks and brown folks and women, everybody who wasn't a rich white man with property and power? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm wondering, I don't understand. How was the American dream ever really a dream for me? The president of the Philippines sang a song for world leaders on the orders of U.S. President Donald Trump. Green Beret killed by strangulation reportedly turned down illegal money from Navy SEALs. And I saw that this is continuing to escalate. So they doing some illegal stuff. They supposed to be using this money to pay informants, and they keeping the money. And he find out about it, and he like and they like well, you take some of this dirty money. And he like, nah. So they strangled him. They killed him. That's the short version. Is that right? Junior drag car driver 8 dies in Australia crash. Rest in peace, junior drag car racer, and also the Green Beret killed by strangulation. Liz Smith dies. Famed gossip columnist, was 94. And I was wondering when I read this, I'm like, I wonder if this is someone that Wendy Williams knows, because there's like a whole tradition, I guess, of gossip being a gossip. And sure enough, on her show today, she did mention that this woman made her transition. She said she didn't know her, but she had met her. Morocco becomes third African country to launch observation satellite. Iran-Iraq earthquake, deadly tremor hits border region. How smartphones are changing life in Egypt. Brussels riot after Morocco World Cup qualifier win. Saudi Arabia is building a $10 million city on the sand, and here's what it'll look like. Inside the rapid rise and unprecedented power grab of Saudi Arabia's millennial crown prince. He's been really in the news lately. When Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys, they were losing $1 million per month. And now it is the most valuable team in the world. $1 million. You were losing $1 million per month. That's rich people problems. That's amazing. Another UK magazine. Oh shoot, I'm going on too long. Oh, but dang, I think I can finish. But let me stop with this edition of Notes on the News. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Angela again. The channel is Be Fabulous You. I'm working on 200 subscribers. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Most of these articles get posted to my Twitter feed. Eventually, it may not be today, but it should be within the next couple of days. I have all kinds of interesting articles on my Twitter feed. Some of them don't make it to Notes on the News. Be Fabulous You, BeFabulousYou. And that might be it. Today is the best day ever. I got book club today and I haven't finished my book, so I'm gonna spend the rest of the day finishing the book. Be you, be fabulous, be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous, be fabulous you.